So let's go back. Let's try to set the scene. About a year and a half ago, I am opining, not op I'm opining about the Kadoki too, but I'm also whining that I'm never gonna get one. And you reach out to me and said, "Hey, Rob,
Oh.
fret not. Okay, I have one. I would like to sell it to you." And I'm like, no, Joe, no, you please don't, please don't. You love that watch. I don't want. I can't possibly. But thank you. I appreciate the offer, but I can't do it. He's like, no, 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 no. I have something cooking, right? And I think at that point, that's when you told me that
Mhm.
there was possibly something. Now I don't know where in the process you were with that. I don't know if it was just an idea, but what was the genesis of this second Kadoki that you were thinking where you were trying to put together and to buy? What was the thought? When did it happen to you? When did it occur to you?
Oh, that was it was all pipe dream up to that moment. I think I had chatted with you guys. It was actually over Christmas, Christmas 2020
Yeah.
that that I bought. I don't know what I was doing. I was probably drinking and shopping online, and I bought
Yeah, as you
myself
do. As you
as I
do.
do. Yes, yes, and not always watches. I had seen a couple of old art books, and I was like, hey, they're discounted. Why not? You know, click.
Mm.
And they go way back, like things that I remembered from like high school. And I was like, wow, I'm just gonna get this because I can. I'm an adult making a paycheck now. So I ended up getting two art books. One was The Art of Rockefeller Center, because that's where I grew up. I used that very same book for like a high school book report, so very nostalgic. And then I got a book on John Singer Sargent art, just
Hmm.
because you know,
Hmm.
big fan.
Yeah.
And I don't know, ideas were kind of percolating because you know kind of had the Kadoki too,
Hmm.
and but nothing ever really, nothing much ever really came of it until that point, like middle of last year, when you know when it seemed like it might be a good idea if you know I scratch your back and you scratch mine,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you know I could bank a little money to pay for something that had been just previously a daydream. And so when we about the same time that we were chatting, you know, I just kind of emailed over to the Kadokis, just asking, you know, do you think, you know,
Hmm.
could it be possible?
And you've had a relationship sort of, right, with them, meaning like at least an email friendship, right?
Oh, it's
Um,
more than that.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so we're not going to get into that. Uh, but you've had like like a friendship that had blossomed at that time, kind of, right? I mean, or am I overstating it?
No, no, yeah, it had been kind of that way. Just it sounds weird. Not me and Mrs. Kudoki, but just over email. Just a
Yeah.
lot of times, just
Hmm.
like trading IMs and pictures of our kids and like what they do over the summer and
Yeah.
bullshitting and stuff like that. Um, so it was very casual, but just maintaining contact because I had the watch and
Yeah.
I was sending them Valentines about how much I loved it, you know,
Yeah.
once a month,
Yeah. Yeah.
until I sold it.
Right. Right. Get back in the chat real quick. Kevin says, opining and whining, it's the Bobby Legs way. Yeah, it really is. Uh, Kevin, so I got this like member thing
Whoa,
going on here, and Kevin, you're my
Oh,
first member. Thank you for
first
the
member?
support. Yeah,
yeah.
first support. I just activated it recently, so I
Oh,
haven't made an announcement. But anyway, thank you, Kevin. I really
Oh.
appreciate it. Um, can you smell what the Cho is cooking? Kevin S says. Okay, so you are cooking something up though in your mind, right?
Yeah,
And
smells like farts.
yes, like Forrest. Okay. Um, and so okay, so John Singer Sargent, right?
Yeah.
I am too familiar with him as an artist. He painted one of my favorite paintings called The Slave Ship, and I believe that painting is in display in Boston,
Ooh.
in their art museum there. But I never got a chance to see it, and hopefully one day would. so you caught some inspiration, right?
Yeah.
From John Singer Sargent. What in particular inspired you from what you saw of him, and how were you able to translate it to what you want the Kadokis uh, to make for you?
Just a lot of wasting time daydreaming when I should have been working. Um, just like what I'm doing right now. Just
Yeah,
mind is wandering.
Ooh,
No.
there it is.
Um,
yeah.
I'm in
yeah,
love.
but
So, so maybe I put this up prematurely, Joe, but I
no, no,
mean, like,
no.
but with you brought up John Singer Sargent and his inspiration, and he did in one of his paintings an atlas like this, right? Sort of.
He did. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and that one's in Boston as well.
Hmm.
Yeah. So he did actually. Do you mind if I share? I think I
Absolutely.
got one. Uh, so a couple months after you and I had that transaction, um, I mocked up. So again, when I should have been working, I just like mocked up something and emailed it
Yeah,
over to them.
Yeah.
And this was, I think I
yeah.
showed it to you guys.
You
Hmm.
did, yeah,
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
I remember this. Yep.
just kind
yeah.
of like you
Was this
know,
freehand?
it was, yeah. And
Wow.
I stole my kids' markers and kind of did that. And so that was pretty much the email. It's like, do you think you guys could do this? And they're like,
Now,
maybe.
now, so let's delve into what we're seeing
Yeah.
here, right? We're seeing an atlas, right? That you took inspiration. I guess I'm not calling him Atlas. I mean, but you guys know what I mean. The figure here, holding a globe, right? So you
Mhm.
took the inspiration from him there.
Yeah.
What do we have? This is now right above him,
Yeah.
at the 12 o'clock, under the 12 o'clock, is a day-night indicator in your typical Kudoki too.
Mhm.
What's going on here? What do we want? What are we seeing here?
Oh, so the reference to the sergeant where Atlas is actually, yeah, like, funny, a common, it's the modern um, misconception that Atlas is holding the globe, right? He's actually standing on the Earth, on the
Mm,
globe, holding the cosmic sphere. And in the sergeant painting, he actually on his shoulders, he has that cosmic sphere with the constellations around it.
okay.
And the constellations that happened to appear that Sargent painted, part of it was Cancer, the crab, and so that kind of got me thinking, it'd be kind of cool. Like I have two kids,
Yeah.
one is a Leo, born in August, and one is a Cancer in very late June. So what if I like borrowed that idea and kind of like asked them if they could kind of graft it onto the day night? If Leo could be like sort of yellow sunish in nature, rotating around with a silver crab that was kind of like a little crescent shaped. um, so yeah, that was kind of the inspiration. Just do it for the kids.
Yeah. Quickly, thank you, Canadian Watch Monkey, with the super chat. Best green diver has to be the Oris Aquas. Hangang? Am I saying that right? Hangang? Um,
Yes.
all right. Yeah,
Nice.
nice. Um, thank you, Canadian Watch Monkey. Appreciate that. So now, okay. So you have this. You send it off to Stefan
Yeah.
and Marie. Is it Marie
Close that up.
Kudoki? Um,
Ed?
Ev Kudoki. Yes. At this point, are you describing a three-dimensional kind of like a relief that's going on here, or are you describing something that's more like painted flat, like that the Atlas, right?
Yeah.
Are you in your opening email saying if you could do something like this, are you specifying whether it's a relief or just like a painting on a dial?
Oh yeah.
Um,
Totally thinking of doing it in relief. Because do
yeah.
you remember seeing the Kudoki erotic watch?
Yes, yes, of course. Yeah, 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 yeah.
So he could do a figure.
Right, right, right. Exactly.
I wasn't sure I wanted this one to be moving, or undulating in any way, but I mean, at least we knew that Stefan knows anatomy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So you guys have the conversation. They say yes, they can do this,
yeah.
right? Um, when when was this around? Like what? Sometime in 2021, yes. But when, like, it was it midsummer? Was it like a year ago?
Oh gosh, yeah, it was, it's around the same time that the Kudoki, the salmon one went to you. I
Yeah.
think I had called up Passion Fine Jewelry in California, and Tim and Brandon over there, and I was like, oh, they said yes. They gave me a quote around the same time, and so I was like, I just have to, do it through a dealer here, and I like working with Passion, so I asked them if they could facilitate.
Oh, okay. So you reach out to the Kadokis to see if this is possible. They
Mhm,
say yes. Then you circle back to Passion, since
mhm,
I guess they're one of the American distributors of Kadoki ADs,
mhm,
and you have
mhm.
to go through them through that channel in order to make it happen. So you're
Yeah.
so I take it you're paying them, then they
Mhm.
eventually pay Stefan, and but other than that, they're not really that much involved. You have direct contact through this whole process with the Kadokis, don't you?
Yeah, I think, well, Tim and Brendan there, they know them so well, also. So I think they do a really nice job, like helping their clients if their clients, want to, do something. But I guess this idea was a little further along than like half baked already, by the
Yeah.
time
They're
I got.
wonderful to work with, by the way.
Mhm.
You
Passion,
know,
yeah.
Tim is one of the early ADs that hopped on the independent bandwagon, and Brandon knows a lot. I've purchased watches from them. My GOS, the Lane. I've
Oh
got,
man, yeah,
I've got something else special coming here in a month or so.
yeah.
They're just really, really, really great people. Super knowledgeable. Small operation,
Mm,
very
yeah.
hands-on and very personable, and passionate watch guys.
Mhm.
Yeah. Excellent. Excellent.
Joe, was the dial a custom? I mean, is that a custom color? The
It It's not, at the time I was talking with them, they were testing all those colors that have eventually been rolling out this year. So I kind of got a little bit of a sneak peek, including the
Yeah,
mother of pearls. But they had this yellow gold in mind already. And it just so happened I got the watch so soon, like
yeah,
so close to the time that Pietro in the UK released his like yellow gold
right.
Kudoki. But I think he got his is a much lighter, brighter gold, and I'm a little bit jealous because I really like that color. This one is a lot darker, almost maybe darker than your Lina, but kind of got
Yeah.
the same
Yeah,
kind of a
I think it
similar
works
vibe.
perfect. I think it works
Yeah.
perfect with
Did
the
you
sun moon, the disc, and it looks fantastic.
d-
Yeah.
so the color was not necessarily your choice,
Mm-mm.
Joe, but it was close, right? It was close to what you were thinking because I'm thinking about the drawing and it's some sort of kind of like yellow gold or yellowish, more yellow.
Oh, frankly, I was just gonna choose something they were offering. I didn't want to make
Okay.
them do too much work, and I was thinking of picking the white mother of pearl.
Right, right, right,
Um,
right, right.
yeah, so I just had to. This was the dial color was the very last decision I came to because I hemmed and hawed for a long time.
Yeah. And so let's zoom in on that day-night indicator with the lion head, the Leo and the crab. And I think Dan had mentioned in the chat that he didn't see the lion head, but now you obviously get very close up there. Amin saying so awesome seeing this come to life, and it truly was. It was almost like we kind of knew what was going on. A few of us did, and like holding the secret. It was like, you wanted, I wanted to share it with other people, you know what I mean? I think other people knew that something special was coming from Kadoke. They just had no idea. And a few of us had the preview of what was to come. And I got to tell you, I mean, it didn't prepare me to see it when the pictures came in because I was blown away. I had a certain expectation of what it was going to look like, and it definitely um, surpass that. Did you get that feeling too, Joe? Did it totally surpass when you saw it in person?
Eh.
Um,
No, I did. I did. I'll confess though, I always have this thing about watches, and I hate it, even with this one, even though I love it, because it always looks so big on the computer, right? and then you
Yeah.
get it in real life,
Right.
and I'm like,
Right. Right.
Yeah.
shit, this is small.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I
no,
think
I
it looks better than I was expecting, to be honest. Nothing against the Kadokis and their skill, just they did a great job.
yeah,
It
yeah,
like
I'm,
Absolutely.
I'm tickled. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And it
Can I?
kind of is a custom color, honestly. I'm looking at the Pietro one, and you probably do have the only one that's this color.
Mm. Oh well, the limited editions that they do with those dealers, those are always exclusive, so you'll never
Mhm.
get
Mm,
that color again. But if anyone wants this dark yellow gold color, I certainly didn't ask them to make it exclusive or anything
mm.
like that, so
Yeah.
Oof, look at that.
they can go for it.
Yeah.
Uh,
So there was some customization on the back. That's not your typical uh, case back that you will see from Kudoki.
Mm,
But you definitely had some customization, and I like the theme that you got here. So you lose that day night indicator, the typical sun and the moon and stars that you would get with your run of the mill Kudoki too. But you brought it back in a case back, and I thought that was
mhm.
really tastefully done. I thought that was awesome. So kudos on that.
Thank you.
Was this a difficult choice
I I
for you?
can I can take absolutely zero credit.
yeah.
Somebody else, I've never seen it posted, but somebody else got this case back done earlier. So they already had a model that they showed me that they'd done previously.
Mm,
And I was like, oh, it's gorgeous. I only added like one small thing to personalize it, but otherwise
Yeah.
it's been done. Yeah, not my idea.
Uh, Joey is saying this is honestly the most beautiful and artistic customization that I've seen on a watch. It's outstanding in every way, Joe. Yeah.
I echo
it
that.
Uh,
kind
I feel the same way. I feel the same way as what Joe just said. I mean, I just think the execution here is outstanding. I love it.
and Joe, I mean, coincidentally, the stars and the sun, it kind of does tie back to the painting, right?
Hmm.
Like,
Hmm.
mm,
because
hmm
there is like I'm looking at it right now, and there's a sun behind him, and you
Hmm.
know the constellations on the globe, so it does kind of tie back.
I've never seen two different colored bridges like that. That's amazing. So what do we got here on a night? Is that a different material? Is that just a different coating? Like is that rhodium? Like what's going on with this case
Yeah.
back here?
So what they're so clever and good at doing is just like the sun moon disc on the front. It's like the same. It's just one piece of brass, but
Mm,
he coats it and then he plates it. So he'll plate the yellow gold on top with the sun, and he can also coat it and do like rose gold plating. But here it's just yellow gold on the top, and at the bottom it is black rhodium
hmm
for the night sky and white rhodium for the celestial bodies in the foreground. So that's him. He just coats and dunks and coats and
Yeah.
dunks and yeah.
Amon's asking, what small thing did you add to the back of this, Joe?
Oh, so I've got my kids on the front and I've got my wife on the back because wife is a Taurus and I couldn't fit. I couldn't. I
Where's the
don't want to put
Taurus?
a I don't want to put a
Where's it?
cow there because I don't want to so
So where I'm off the bat, I can't
So,
see the reference.
so the Taurus constellation is up among
Oh,
the bigger stars with that
the
are
circles.
surrounding the jewels. Yeah.
Okay, okay, I follow.
Huh?
All right, so
Cool.
right here.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
So I've got my
Yeah.
wife
Neat.
on my wrist, not just attached at the hip.
These are really good photos, and I'm going to tell you,
Yeah.
Kadoki watches are difficult to photograph. I don't know what it is, but they are really challenging to get great pictures
Mm,
of.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I suck at it. Sorry. All credit to Brandon at Passion. He took these
hmm
photos, and
hmm
yeah.
yeah.
So now that you've had this customized Kadoke 2, and before that the Salmon Dao Kadoke 2, I presume same dimensions. It wears the same. If you close your eyes, you couldn't tell which watch was which. Um, is that correct, Joe? Am I correct in assuming that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Um, wow. So look, man. I mean, Anyway, beautiful, beautiful watch. Well done. I'll turn it over to Rick and Colin if you guys have any comments um, or questions on this particular watch or Kudoki in general, your general thoughts, please. Um,
Well, a question for you, Rob. So if I've got the lineage right, I mean, that salmon dial Kadoki 2 that you had originally made its way to you, then
yeah.
what happened? What, not in your
Well,
collection, and not in the
uh,
collection anymore, is it?
no, no, it wasn't. There were like, some things that happened at the end of last year that, I just felt that it was, appropriate time to move on from a piece. But I'll tell you this, um, I you used to have a black dial version
I did.
of a
Yep.
Clico 2, and that to me is is absolutely
Mhm.
gorgeous. Now,
Yeah.
while I also did the salmon, love the salmon, I look, I mean, I felt like I can make it work, but I first fell in love with the white dial version, the original version,
Mhm.
and then I saw your black dial version, and so like if I hadn't bought Joe's salmon dial Kadoki, I would have probably either bought the white dial or the black dial. So I think that's my natural
Mhm.
preference anyway,
Yeah.
for it, and just seeing your new special Kadoki that you got a couple months ago with the SAX collaboration with Kadoke and some of the newer releases in different colorways that are coming out. I'm inspired again, and I would hope maybe in the next like couple years adding it back to the collection because it is absolutely elegant. I love this watch. I love all Kadoki watches, basically, and would love to add it. Yeah, so it'll be
And
back. It'll be back.
I do love the original white dial, and I think that's a really
Mm,
great looking watch.
Mhm.
Um, and the only reason that I sold my black dial, and my story is after Joe had his salmon and then sold it to you, then I became interested. I reached out to a couple of ADs. I contacted Martin Pulley. He had a white one.
Mhm.
By the time we went back and forth for 2 or 3 days, it got sold. But he said, "Hey, I've got a brand new black one. They haven't done any black. It'll be the first black one in North America to be delivered, and it's coming in I don't know 4 weeks or 5 weeks, which seemed long back then. Now that's a nanosecond in the watch world. Um, that, and I was really thrilled. And uh, interesting story though, that watch was DOA, dead on arrival, did not work when I received it,
Huh.
and it
mm,
was a quick fix. There was a little metal shaving, I guess, was the
Mm.
diagnosis. They never had to go back to Kudoki. They fixed it. Martin Pulley's watchmaker in
Mhm.
Philadelphia fixed it. But then, when this SJX collaboration came along, very unique watch. It rose
Mm.
gold and titanium case, so that's different. The
Mhm.
dial's different. The finishing is different. So, I didn't want two Kadoki, so that's when I sold that black dial because I knew I had the other one coming in. So I had a month or two where I didn't have a Kadoki, but I just think they're really, really interesting watches. I'd say the one thing, I think Colin mentioned this before we went live. I don't have many watches. This one, and I might have one or two other, but I don't have many watches that don't have a second hand, and that's just something you got to get used to.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sorry, Rick. I'm pulling up the yours here, and yours is a
Oh,
stunner as well.
All right.
I
Yeah.
yeah.
mean, that is beautiful. I could see why you moved from the original one to get this one because this is a truly, truly special piece as well. Let me see if I
You
can.
got the two-tone one, Rick? Yours is two-tone or the
I got the two
all?
tone, and I think
Okay.
somewhere in that article it would say, but I think there's only 8 of those that are out
Yeah.
there. And this was a small. This might have been a 20 piece or 15-piece limited edition, but even in
Yeah.
the titanium and rose gold
Yeah.
Mhm.
was even fewer, maybe 6 or 8.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
just
Yeah.
beautiful as well, Rick. Um, hey, Chris, shout out to Rick and the rest of the community. Got a really inspired message from a viewer who will remain nameless but keeps you going Thanks, Rob. Thank you, Chris. Really, really appreciate the super chat. I wanted to highlight Dib's comment here when your watch was up. He's like, every time I look at the watch, I feel like I'm transported to a different world. This is
Yeah.
an otherworldly watch. Yeah. Um, just beautiful, beautiful. James, as someone who obsesses over precision, I find watches with no second
Mm,
hand quite liberating.
Mm,
Hmm.
I get it.
Yeah.
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 I mean, look, if you have one of those, see, to me, it wasn't an issue. Because
Mhm.
it was the only watch in my collection at the time that had, no secondhand. Everyone
I
else
thought
had
your
it.
Pam doesn't your Pam?
Oh, that's right, my
Yeah,
Pam.
mhm.
That's right. That's
Mhm.
right. I mean, I don't even see my Pam anymore. You know what I mean? It's been there. You know what I mean? Not
Yeah,
in a
yeah,
bad way, not in a bad way, but it's just like it's been
yeah.
such a
It's there.
fixture in my life for
Yeah,
like 15 or 17 years that it's just like, you know.
yeah.
But what I loved about the Kudoke, and I'm sure you guys had the same experience with yours, the winding mechanism. It's just like it's so audible, right?
Mm,
And it's so satisfying. And Rick, you brought up a good point the other day. We were talking about this and how like there's like that slight little comeback to it when
Mm,
you after you wind it, and that's also really really kind of cool, you know. It's something that you don't really get from I guess automatic watches. I mean, like I've had that experience with my when I need to get my Panerai service, but it's a
mm,
6498. But I have that experience initially the first couple of years that it had that little return. It came back just a slight bit after you would wind it, and I don't know. I just like that. I just really really like that, and it's so satisfying to wind um, the Kudoke.
mhm,
It really really
mhm.
is.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, agreed, agreed. The hop rings, which share similar components, it's
Yep.
lovely to
yeah.
wind.
Similar feel. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, it is really nice. Um, but
uh,
a huge, huge shout out, if I can, to Rick
yeah.
for this watch because it was done by one of my favorite. Like, there seem to be a lot more like watch artists out there right now. If you like, they kind of
Mm,
see them on Instagram and stuff. But he was probably the original Lee 1 Hour
yeah,
Watch who like designed this thing, and there was like so much like obvious like big brain energy that went into this
yeah.
freaking watch. And if and I'm so mad because I like messaging him, I like chatting with him, and nobody ever said anything about this to me because I would definitely would have saved all my money for this one had I known about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Joe, at the same time, you got like something that nobody else has.
Unique. Yeah.
Uh,
You
uh,
know?
Eh,
I like this
Really?
one.
Ah.
Yeah.
I like
Uh,
Rick's.
I
uh,
uh I really love the watch. It's the execution that they did and then just the personal touches that you put towards it and to have a piece unique like that I think is really special and like not to be lost in this but like I couldn't email them and get this done. Like you have a really good relationship with a lot of people in the watch community that help you get something like this made. Like not anyone can just go out and get this watch,
You know,
right?
I think that's right, Colin. I think the thing is timing is everything.
Mhm.
I don't
Yeah.
know that they'd be receptive today,
No.
to doing a one-off. I
Mhm.
know somebody else, Richard Tivan,
Yeah.
in one of our horology talk groups. I think he just got a custom piece, not to the same extent as
Mhm.
Joe's, but he did some customization on the rotors. I think just the back,
Yeah.
a family crest on the engraving on it. And that's
Mhm.
Stefan's expertise, right? Is he's an engraving
yeah.
genius,
Hmm.
so it's cool to do that. But I wonder whether they'd be receptive today. I mean, I think
Like
a
the
lot of brands. We
dial
were,
side. I think they
yeah,
mostly do movement,
yeah.
stuff like
Mhm.
but on the dial I'm personally not aware of anything recently.
It's just
But
timing. We
maybe
were talking a
yeah.
weeks about Chopik, and Chopik would do some customized pieces a couple of
Yeah.
years ago. They're backlogged 2,700 watches right now. There's no
Wow,
way that
Yeah.
they're going to do anything custom.
No.
that's amazing.
Just listen to Joe speak. People just want to do things for him.
Yeah.
Joe with his Jedi mind tricks. So Joe,
Yes.
so from first contact, let's rehash this again. From first contact to
Ooh,
receipt of the watch.
yeah.
How long did it take?
First deposit, getting the quote and first deposit went in a year before I got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm,
So a
Not bad.
year. Not
Not
bad.
bad.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I was
that's not bad at
expecting.
all.
Yeah, because it turns out to be. Yeah, that's right. Because
Mm.
we transacted with the Kudoke too, the salmon Dow in June, I think, of last year, because it marked your 1 year anniversary with it or something like that. I think that's what you wanted to hold on to it for a year. So yeah, that's pretty good because I think that's kind of like the timing they're giving you now just for
Mhm.
a quote unquote regular production piece.
Yeah.
But probably to Rick's point, they probably wouldn't maybe do something like this again. And if they did, it would definitely take, I would imagine now, longer than a year to do, maybe closer to
Mm.
two. So patience is the name of the game. To get a great watch like you did, instant classic.
If my channel is new to you and you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and click that bell icon to get updates when I upload new videos. I love making these videos and I hope you like them too. And also, if you want to support the channel, please buy me a cup of coffee. The link is in the description. Take care and I'll see you in the next video.